Hey you. I've been thinking, what is Divinity Ranch? And I can put it very simply. It's somewhere where you belong. It's somewhere where you and I belong and where we can be ourselves. It's a portal that we can enter no matter where we are to feel like we're part of something that we're meant to be part of and we're fully accepted for who we are. And I was inspired in this remembrance of what Divinity Ranch is because as I am working on publishing my first book, which is called The Wild Way Home, thanks for those of you who have offered so much support about it, I came across a transcription that I voice recorded last year of a very, very special group of people who were doing a prayer over me and praying over me and sort of prophesying. And they said many wonderful things, one of which was that my true power was to create an atmosphere, be it physical. For instance, if I did wilderness retreats out here in New Mexico or anywhere in the world that I hope to see you at, or virtual, like here on YouTube and on the internet, or something almost intangible, but that I create an atmosphere where people feel that they can be themselves and that they belong and are loved and accepted for all of who they are. And I realized that's why I created Divinity Ranch and why I named it that. To have my own ranch, which to me is a feeling of home. The ranch is synonymous with home to me. And this idea of Divinity Ranch is that it's somewhere that we are a part of and we belong by the very virtue of our divinity, which is intrinsic to who we are, to who I am and to who you are. And so wherever it pops up in the physical world, be it as a traveling circus show, which is certainly one of my dreams, sharing in performance art and communion with humans and animals in the land, or be it in the form of wilderness and artistic and creative and therapeutic and yes, ceremonial, maybe even plant medicine, as one of you mentioned, retreats, get-togethers, gatherings, spaces to come together and grieve and grow and heal and share. No matter where or how Divinity Ranch pops up for you, the idea is that it's somewhere where you belong just by virtue of who you are, the divine being that you are, every single aspect of yourself. And I guess for me, Divinity Ranch is the place that I go where it's okay to talk about anything, which I often do to myself and encourage you to do the same. I record these videos that I share with you, but I'm constantly recording myself talking and listening back to it. It's an interesting way to observe yourself, or writing down my thoughts and looking back over them, or just talking to myself or talking to a trusted friend. It's a place where it's not about being perfect, but realizing that everything is just perfectly as it is. Not trying to make ourselves only feel love, but realizing that every feeling is worth loving, and that's true love. And I've been talking a lot with my dear friend who's a new mother about different types of child rearing, and as you guys have gleaned from my channel and will certainly glean more from my writings, I've gone through a lot with personal healing and therapy as far as childhood trauma and that sort of repression of the child within, of our most authentic selves. And a lot of my journey has been about coming back to my authentic self. And while it may be true that, or not, but as far as where I am in my journey, it seems to me that a lot of early childhood trauma and perhaps getting away from a sort of presence and reverence of motherhood and parenthood and caregiverhood and rearing children that honors the divine naturalness of all of it and the divine perfection of all of us. Perhaps some of the ways that I know I feel like I was raised and maybe you were, maybe those childhood traumas have a lot to do with what I feel like is one of my core wounds, which is like a lack of a sense of belonging. Like, no matter how much I tell myself and work on my self-love, there's still often this sense of me being afraid that I don't belong here, wherever here is, in the most essential sense on earth. That I'm not worthy, that I have to earn it, that nothing I ever do will be good enough, that I have some kind of debt that I can't pay. Essentially, that I don't belong anywhere or no one wants me. Especially if I was to show my complete real self. And so Divinity Ranch is that place that I have created in my own heart and my own imagination, where I can go and where I can invite others to come and know that you will be accepted for your whole entire full self, for every part of you, exactly as you are, exactly as God, Goddess, Mother Nature, the earth, the cosmos, the great intelligence that is, the great one life that we all are, exactly as that made you. So Divinity Ranch is somewhere where we can talk about anything. I guess the requisite for whether it's something that you want to bring up here or not is if it's indicative of your most authentic feeling and self in that moment. It's somewhere where you can be the real you and belong and be loved, no matter where you are. And maybe you don't call it Divinity Ranch. Maybe you call it somewhere else. But Divinity Ranch is sort of my imaginary take on the world. Like maybe the whole world is Divinity Ranch. And we're all a team here, and we're all part of something bigger, and we're all helping each other to get the work done, to keep supporting each other, and keep not just surviving, but thriving.